Hi everyone, my name's Mike and welcome to the video. A couple of weeks ago we were invited to be part of an evening put on by A&D Motorcycles and Aprilia. It was a ride out around North Wales and then a get together and a chat, and they had Mick Extance as a guest. And Mick, if you don't know who he is a very well known enduro rider. So he's done Paris Dakar lots of times, and you know he's very well regarded and very well known in that area. And he also has a riding school not far from where A&D are. His riding school's in Bala. So what we did was we went along. Dave actually interviewed Mick and I filmed it, and that's going to be part of this video. But we thought just doing the Mick interview, while really interesting, it'd be good to include a bit of kind of our normal bike review. So A&D had an Aprilia Tuareg, which is the bike that Mick's going to be using as one of his bikes in the school. So he actually did his interview in front of a Tuareg rally. So Dave and I took the Tuareg out and we had it for the day, and we did our usual, you know, what we think about it. So the first bit of the video is going to be us testing and waffling on about the Tuareg and what we thought of it, and then the second part is Dave interviewing Mick, and hopefully you'll find it very interesting. I must admit our test isn't really in the same vein as Mick. We didn't take it off-road at all, although at one point I did stand on the pegs, but that's about as much Mick Extance like I got in the ride. But thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great evening, and hope you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching, and yeah, we've got more coming. Sorry about how long it takes to put the videos out, but c'est la vie. That's life. We're all busy, work and all that sort of thing. So with that, on with the show. Okay, so I'm riding the bike now. This road is one of my favourite roads in Wales. It goes from Abergele to Llanrwst. I've forgotten the name of the road, but doesn't matter, but it's a magnificent road. And just clear this traffic. Don't often get a lot of traffic on this road, but it follows a valley and follows a river, and it's got a good mix of twists and straight bits. Here we go, free road, off we go. So what's the Tuareg like? Well, I'd ridden it before this, and for some reason I didn't quite get on with it. I don't know what it was. I think maybe I was riding it wrong. I was riding it too much like a supermoto. You know, I was rev, chucking it around, and in this ride I just kind of stroked it along a bit more. And you know, obviously I'm doing the speed limit, could rev it a lot more, but it kind of all came together. It's got long travel suspension, it's got fantastic brakes, and that's where you've got to be a bit careful, because it's got good brakes, it's got good engine braking, so it's very easy to kind of unsettle the front end if you snap off and slam on the brakes. But once you start just being a bit more circumspect with it and a bit more gentle, it handles fantastically because it's a light bike, and it's Aprilia. What else do you expect, you know? How many world championships? Oh, this is the bit here where I do the Mick Extance and try and stand up at 60 miles an hour. So there you go, that's my nod to its off-road ability. So yeah, so I'm just looking at this as purely on-road, but if you look, the road's a bit mucky and it's a bit wet and there's gravel in the centre of the road, and this bike just totally inspired lots of confidence. The chassis is so well, it's so resolved. You can feel everything. You can feel every lump and bump in the road, but not in a scary way. It just kind of floats over things, and it gives you confidence. And the power's very good. It's 660, and I think it's 72 brake horsepower at the back wheel, which is, for a 660 twin, is quite a lot. And you know, I just jumped off my Ducati, which is 1000cc, and it felt a bit lacking in torque, but having ridden this a bit more, like on this ride, it's got more than enough for the road. I love these long sweeping bends, and it's just beautiful. There's a river on the left, and it's just wonderful. This road, if you continue on, you go over a rise, and the whole of the Snowdon mountain range, which is like the biggest mountain in the UK, Snowdon, it comes in front. You know, it opens up in front of you, this incredible vista. I love this section here. We go through the trees, very nice, but as you can see, it's starting to look very icky, and the rain's starting to come down, so discretion being better part of valour. Not that I mind riding in the wet, but I wasn't really equipped. I didn't have my waterproofs on, so I thought I'm best hightailing it back. Go back on this lovely ribbon of tarmac. So yeah, you could tour this, you know, you could take it off-road. You're much better off talking to someone like Mick Extance to talk about the off-road ability. Maybe we'll go there and do a video, but yeah, on the road it makes a magnificent road bike. You can tour on this, you can chuck it down a country lane, you can take it easy on it. I really enjoyed it. Don't know if it would be a bike that I would buy, probably a bit too off-roady for me, but it's comfy enough. And there's Dave sitting there waiting for a chat, and we're going to have a round table next. Hi everyone.
Hi.
So you've just got Dave and I today, luckily. So this video is kind of, you've probably seen by now, it's the Aprilia Tuareg, but it's at A&D Motorcycles, and 2 days ago A&D put on an evening with Mick Extance.
Yeah, courtesy of Piaggio UK, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, so, exactly. And Dave very kindly interviewed him and asked the questions. So we've got that, and I'm putting that together. And I thought, while I was doing that, he's running a off-road school, and does
it's about 20 miles from here, isn't it? Near Bala.
Near Bala. And does he have Tuaregs in
it?
Yeah.
He has a number of different bikes, but Aprilia Tuaregs is one of them.
Yes.
Aprilia support him at the school.
Yeah.
And we did the whole interview with the Tuareg rally in front of us,
which has got all the fancy suspension.
Yeah, it's all bells and whistles. It's a very cool bike.
Yeah.
So, and at the time we also did a ride out, just a 20-mile ride out. I was on the Guzzi Stelvio, which I've ridden before, lovely bike, but there was a guy riding the Tuareg demo that they've got here, and I was a bit jealous because I'd never tried the Tuareg. I've ridden a Stelvio a couple of times.
Yeah, I've not ridden one before either.
So I kind of mentioned it, and Mike said, well, why don't we take the demo out and do a little, like you were saying, a top and tail to the evening, the Guzzi Aprilia evening, and test the Tuareg.
Yeah.
So that's what we've done, isn't it?
So very kindly A&D loaned us a Tuareg for the day. So we've out and about. It's not a brilliant day. It's all right though.
It's warm. It's just been a bit drizzly and a bit damp under the trees, as they say.
That time of year, it's going into autumn, fall, for our colonial friends. So what did you think of the Tuareg, Dave?
So I was looking forward to it. My terms of reference for sort of, I don't know what you call them. What do you call them? They're not big trailies. They're not small trailies. Middleweight trailies. You know, so we're talking Tenere 700s. We're talking
the Honda XL 750, whatever they call that.
Yeah.
Transalp. They call it Transalp. The new one. The new parallel twin.
All right. Suzuki do a
V-Strom 800.
Yeah. You know, and they're generally parallel twins.
And KTM.
KTM, of course, and BM probably a bit more upmarket with the F900.
Yeah.
GS. But they're generally parallel twins these days, obviously water cooled. And at the bottom end of that market, and no, not meaning to be disparaging, you've got the Himalayan, I suppose.
Yeah,
Enfield.
and that's small. It's a 450.
Oh, that's a 450, of course.
Yeah,
so talking of small, so the Tuareg is a 660, and we're comparing it in the same sentence with, okay, the 700 Tenere, everything else is 800 and bigger, isn't it?
yeah, well, the
And the
Honda's a
Tiger.
750.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll shut up then. But
no, it is the smallest.
yeah, it is
of
the
that
smallest
group.
and one of the lightest, I'd imagine. So my terms of reference are probably 20 years out of date because I haven't ridden any of those bikes we've just mentioned. I've ridden their predecessors. I've ridden F800s. I had a KTM 950 Adventure, so I guess that was a more powerful bike, but a heavier bike, but sort of my terms of reference. And really old stuff like Kagiva Elephants.
And we've both got a lot of GS lore.
Yeah, a lot of GS stuff, but they're bigger, you know, and obviously a lot more premium. So I guess that's my way of saying I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
But I expected it to be light. I expected it to be wieldy. I probably expected it to be a bit characterless with parallel twin modern, you know, water cooled, being a bit of a Guzzi V85 freak. But I liked it. I really liked it. I guess the standouts were the handling.
Oh, definitely.
The handling and the braking
and the lightness.
Yeah, and so the lightness feeds into everything.
Yeah.
It's
Settle.
give it a saucer of milk. So the base is there. So you know, we were riding back, and Mike is normally a much slower rider than me, but the difference was exaggerated when he was on Muttley.
Oh, that's true.
He was on Muttley, and I nearly went into him in a couple of corners into the back.
Because I'm a grown up.
Oh, right. Yeah, very grown up.
Like you said to me, like Motley is my 1000cc air-cooled multistrada, which, despite its looks and age, does have a fair bit of kick to it, and it handles well. But like you said, when you got off, it's 25 years difference.
Yeah.
And quite a bit lighter.
So with only 660cc to play with, but what did we say the rear wheel horsepower on one of those?
I think it was 72.
72 for the Aprilia out of a 660 parallel twin. And it's not particularly torquey, but it revs really crisply.
It honks.
Yeah.
When you get into the upper rev range, it honks.
Round town, it just feels a bit bland. It fuels beautifully, doesn't it?
Yeah. I've done some 20 mile an hour, what it fuels like, and it's just immaculate.
Yeah, because it's ride-by-wire, and, you know, most modern ride-by-wire bikes are fine low down. And after your multistrada, anything is good low down. But when you open it up, it honks through the airbox.
It does.
It gives you a kick in the pants. The lightness shines with the acceleration, and it's lovely. It's great fun.
It's really wieldy, and when I first got on it, I was a bit underwhelmed because I'd got off my rip snorting, bad mannered Ducati.
Just never mind the manner, just bad.
Anyway, listen to him. And I thought, this is a bit, and then I kind of rode it and thought, no, it's good. It handles well. Brakes are superb.
Yeah, brakes are.
Engine's a bit characterless until you rev it. And what I was doing, as I was trying to ride it like a supermoto, so I was on it and I was like, rev, rev, rev.
You don't.
Brakes. And then we pulled in. Dave had a coffee and I went off and did a run down another road. And I changed my riding style and I just started riding it a bit smoother and I suddenly gelled with it. And because the suspension is so plush and it's not soft by any means.
No, it's not.
You just got to ride it with a bit of finesse.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it dances.
Yeah, it dances.
It dances down a twisty road, and the lightness and that power, and above. Like I wasn't even going. I'm probably 65, maybe a little bit more than that, a couple of times. But on these twisty roads, you just get the engine in that, get it revving in the sweet spot, and it's just a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah. You can see where the money went because it's a premium bike.
It is a premium bike.
They're not cheap.
I don't know what suspension it is. Is it?
No idea. But Aprilia know what they're doing, don't they,
Yeah.
with chassis and technology. And
But
it's just lovely.
I did find it a bit characterless in the when you weren't winding it on.
But I just hopped off an airhead, an old BM airhead, my R90S. You just hopped off your multistrada, which, despite all its many and multifarious, that's why they call it the multifarious faults, it's got character in spades,
It
hasn't
has.
it? So anything modern is going to feel a little bit bland. But I found I had a big grin on my face. We're riding back. I'm just sitting behind Mike. I'm not having to work as hard as he is. And it was just lovely.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a bike that is fundamentally not just got off-road aspirations. Mick Extance uses them in his school.
Yeah.
He uses them at the school. Okay, for the more experienced individuals and people who are comfortable with what for an off-road, genuine off-road bike, as opposed to some of the big trailies, you know, is still quite a heavy bike.
Yeah.
By off-road standards, by CRF Honda standards.
Yeah.
But he uses them. But for all, having said all that about the off-road stuff, it makes a great
Does
road
make
bike.
a great road. So I felt a bit of a fraud. You know, we were talking to Mick Extance because this test we can't test. So the bike is
We're testing it as a road bike.
just testing it as a road bike.
Yeah.
Though I did stand on the foot pegs at one point.
Oh, woo.
At 60 miles an hour.
Paris Dakar legend, here we come.
So there
Leg
you go.
end.
So yeah, I gelled with it and I actually really liked it. It's fantastic handling, great brakes. It's what you used the word about it kind of being all together, not resolved. It doesn't matter anyway. I wasn't super impressed on that 660 engine.
No, I get that.
And I think the reason for that is I've ridden
the Suzuki
Stewart's 8S.
Yeah.
But again, that's 200 horsepower more, 200 cc more.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It is 660. It's 70 horsepower out of a 660. At the rear wheel is impressive. But you're not going to get oodles of torque.
No.
You know, you're
And
just
I think that's what I miss. I fundamentally like bikes with a bit of torque.
So do I, normally. You know, look at the old stuff I ride, you know. But I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
The only criticisms I've got of it is for the money, and I'm guessing that the Tenere is the same. The screen could do with just a little bit of manual adjustability, maybe. I got on with the screen. You didn't.
No, I
particularly.
did. On my second one, what I did is I slid my bum up the seat a bit.
Okay.
And the seat suddenly was
Well,
more
there you
comfy.
go. So the screen worked fine for us, but
Yeah.
it may be a bit of adjustability because it's a very individual thing. And
also the modes, I couldn't for the life of me. It's got what's it called?
Urban, custom, adventure, and off-road.
And individual.
An individual, I guess you can map to
Customise
what you
it,
like. Yeah. Well, I think it's actually called custom, or no, it's called individual. You're right. But those are the kind of things, if you owned it, you'd find out about it and you get used to, wouldn't you?
But on the whole, I really
the only other thing, I guess, as an all-round road bike, because you could go anywhere on it, is because it's got that off-road gene in it. It's quite a narrow seat.
It is quite narrow.
It's not uncomfy, but ultimately it's a narrow seat, so it's gonna get uncomfy after an hour or so, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, but and it's tall, not that tall. I'm pretty stumpy. You're taller.
Yeah.
You're about
5'11".
5'11" and going down.
I am going down.
Yeah, I'm 5'8" and still going down.
Yeah.
So, but I was fine with it. But then, you know, I'm used to kind of adventure. You know, KTM Adventure was taller and heavier, and the GS's. So you only need 1 foot. I could get both balls of my feet down.
Yeah. Yeah.
You probably could flat foot it, could you?
I could flat foot it. Yeah, it was no problem.
But it's light. You know, doing U-turns on it was a delight. You know. So overall, I probably liked it a smidge more than you.
I think so. Yeah. And it's surprising because I thought I would like it more than you would.
Yeah. That's unusual, isn't it? Because you're right. I tend to like more characterful stuff, but it's just so good at what it does.
Yeah,
so good.
It is.
And it's a cool looking bike.
It is. The looks are great, especially in that colour scheme, that green colour scheme.
Yeah,
I really
green and
like
red.
it.
Yeah. So I think, you know, great night with A&D and Piaggio UK.
Yeah.
Great talking to Paris Dakar legend that is Mick Extance, and if you get a chance, go to his off-road school near here, Bala, in amazing countryside. And if you get a chance, ride an Aprilia Tuareg.
Yep. Thanks, A&D, for
for
putting it all on.
Thank you. And
cool.
Keep it safe.
Lovely. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
So I'd like you all to welcome Mick Extance. Mick is our guest tonight. Yep, evening all, and it's so cool to see so many of you come along and share an evening where it's important, let's do what we do, enjoy around the bike. So thank you for inviting us across here and give you a bit of a rundown, a bit of my background, a bit about the bike, the project we're doing, and working with Aprilia on such a cool bike. So we'll kind of lead that into it as we go.
Yeah, you're in danger of answering all the questions that I've got here before we go. But
before we start, who are you?
Oh, who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I? So I'm Dave from the Lemon Drizzle Gang. This is Mike. Mike runs the for those of you who don't know, and they're probably most of you, Mike runs a YouTube channel. How many subscribers have we got now?
Loads.
500,000,
Yeah.
2 million, something like that.
Well,
Now,
1.5 million views.
1.5 million views, so there we go. So, anyway, and we work with A&D quite a lot and cover a lot of the bikes, the Aprilias, the Enfields and the Guzzies, and we've all got a bit of a passion for Guzzies. But we're not going to talk about Guzzies with Nick, unless you've ever taken a Guzzi off-road.
I was actually had the pleasure of riding the motorcycle at the ADR Festival, and I can't fault it. I fell in love with it. I didn't want to hand it back, actually. It was my go-to bike.
Great plug, Nick.
Yeah.
So that's excellent. So I've got a list of questions here that I didn't write, so I'm going to ask them. So we'll kick off with what first inspired you to start riding motorcycles?
I was kind of lucky, really, because I'd come through a motorcycle family. My dad was quite big into the off-road kind of side. And I think in them days it was a little bit easier to do it. Unfortunately now the off-roading side is getting a bit difficult. But I wasn't allowed to start competition till I was 15. And so at the age of 15, I started doing motorcycle trials. And I liked the way then that I kind of got taught a little bit about life in a way. So I was promised a bike at 15. And then on the Sunday, my dad took me to do my first competition. And kind of on the way home, he says, I think you've enjoyed it, ain't you, son? There's one thing you need to remember. If you pack your paper around, then you won't be riding it again because you need to buy the fuel. I've bought the bike. And I think that was a stepping stone to inspire you what you need to do to enjoy yourself.
It's not a bad deal, though, is it?
No.
He gets you the bike and you buy the fuel.
Yeah.
That's better than my dad did. I don't know about you guys. Who were your biggest influences when you were starting out?
I mean, I've always had a mad passion for the Dakar Rally, and I think there was a lot of people. One of them was Stefan Peter Hansel and people like that who kind of gave me the big incentive to do it. And some of you might remember the name John Deacon, who was a very legend of rallying. He was a really big inspiration to me, and he was one of the reasons why I went on to do the Dakar.
Fair enough. Did you always see yourself racing at an international level, or did that come later? Was that your vision?
I've always kind of done competition since the age of 15, but I want to do something, I'll do it. And it was kind of bizarre because I kind of did trials and I moved into enduro. And, I thought I was doing okay. And then on the way home with my friends, I basically said to them, in 2 weeks, we're going to Italy. What are we going to Italy for? Do a world championship. Do a world championship. Never done a world championship, never rode at that level. Whereabouts in Italy? Well, it's in Italy somewhere. You do the homework. When we get there, I'll ride. And off we goes. And
how did you do?
I did all right. I got in the points, which was pretty cool in the World Championship. Yeah. So I've always been one of them kind of people that let's not talk about it. Let's go and do it.
Yeah.
And bizarrely, the same with the Dakar. Really, I'm sure at some point now. I stood in a pub at the age of 17, and the crazy race.
18.
17, okay, I'll go 17. And the Dakar came up on the TV, and I just went all a bit kind of, maybe the beer went a bit wobbly and thought, you know what, I need to do that. And bizarrely, I couldn't get it out of my head. And then I was lucky enough to do World Championship Enduros. And in 2001, unfortunately, my dad was to pass away, and there was only one vision, was to go and compete in the Dakar. And I kind of went through that, headed back up home, and kind of got my head down, and it was bizarre because to do the Dakar, even in them days, was a £40,000-50,000 project, and I was just a normal guy laying tarmac for a living. But there's no way I was not going to get to the Dakar, and I just spent the year begging, stealing, and getting money together. And Christmas Day, I kind of headed down to Dover to get the ferry across to do my first ever kind of rallying. But I'd never used a road book, never been to Africa. Never even sat on a rally bike until I kind of turned up there. And
how did it go?
It was, if you wanted wild time in your life, well, like that's how I work really. So I presume we're going to Africa. I didn't really take into account you've got to ride from Paris to get to Africa.
Yeah, the clue's in the title.
Yeah, so I'm kind of heading off thinking, well, this will be fun. So I've got, one set of kit, no real support. And I'm thinking, I didn't really kind of take this in very good, did I? So I've absolutely pissed it down with rain as I'm riding down the Autobahn through France into Spain, sleeping in shop doorways and under bush shelters. And I'm thinking, is this really what the Dakar is about? But, it was part of the adventure.
Well, it says here, how did you prepare physically and mentally for events? I think we're getting a bit of insight. Don't bother preparing.
Don't bother preparing.
Keep in a doorway, and everything after that probably feels a bit better.
It was just so many things unfolded in my first ever rally. So and bizarrely, I did okay through the stages in Europe, and then gets on the boat, crosses into Africa, never been there, and I kind of turned up at my first ever bivouac, which is where all the riders come.
Yeah, the bivvy, yeah.
And I was like a little kid in the morning, walking around, waking people up because I was excited. I wanted to ride my bike.
I bet they loved you.
Yeah, get up, mate, come on, we want to go riding. And I went to look at the results in the first kind of couple of days, and I was in the top 20. I'm thinking, can't be right. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Was it tougher than you expected, or about what you did expect, or you just didn't know?
Mentally it is, but from a riding point of view, but it got even better than that. And day 5, you looked on the thing and they said you're going to go into the Sahara Desert. Okay, that sounds good to me. So, gets up early in the morning and off we go, heading down this kind of normal gravel track. Next thing, we're in this crazy thing called the Sahara Desert. And obviously never been there. I wasn't very connected with the navigation stuff, so I didn't even have my Garmin turned on.
Uh-oh.
I didn't have a satellite phone. It was like budget racing at its best. So we turned into the desert and bizarrely ended up on my own at this point. Well, imagine trying to navigate through the Sahara Desert without knowing how this works was a little bit different. So I kind of thought I'd better stop and sort this out. So I came to a stop, and at that point I realised it's actually quite warm in the desert. Right into a bit of a sweat. And then I did we've all seen it, like the Boy Scout. I'm looking around to see if I could see anybody. And then I saw them crazy down where the wind blows, it creates dust clouds. I'm thinking, well, the competitors can't be there and there. Where actually are they? And little unknown to me did I realise when you stop, the wind covers your tyre tracks up instantly.
So you didn't.
So I just kind of thought, I think you've got a bit of a problem here, mate. How do you deal with this? So I kind of thought, you go left, you go right, or you go back, or you go forward. So I kind of made a decision quickly, get out of here, put my helmet back on, probably did 50 kilometres in a straight line, and I came to the checkpoint. And it was like, this rallying does work. There is a way you can do it. And it was just a massive kind of start of understanding how
I'm
rallies
not being
work.
rude, but was that just dumb luck?
Good luck, I would say.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm going for good luck.
Yeah. All right, thank you. Can you describe, you kind of have described one of them, but can you describe the most challenging stage you've ever ridden?
I think, with the rallies, there is a lot of things, but a lot of it is you've got to make things happen. That's what I like about it, I think it's probably the only time in life when you do something like that you can find yourself. If you're backed in a corner and things are a little bit difficult, I used to come in at night and kind of sit next to the tent and think, you know what, if you don't mind me swearing, you little fuckers, I'm still in the event tomorrow. You find yourself with that determination to ride for it.
We'll bleep that out.
That's why I like doing things like that.
You've got it. Yeah, you find yourself and you find your strength.
Yeah.
Okay. How does the Dakar compare to other types of racing you've done?
Well, bizarrely, that's a question that I've just literally come back from a rally called the Aprilia Tuareg that was in Croatia. I've always shied away from it. And absolutely, I would probably say truthfully, if you wanted in terms of physical riding, it was harder in the Dakar.
Wow.
Yeah. I never saw that in rally. And, that was the first time I've ever done anything different to the Dakar. And that was 6 days, 7 countries in Croatia, Montenegro. And for sure, they was physical days. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Mind you, you keep yourself fit. I know you're only 28, but just send money later. Do you have a favourite memory from your Dakar experience?
Yeah, I do, to be fair. I think possibly, I was lucky enough to get classed as a Dakar legend. I did it in Africa, and then I went to South America. And then in 2018, I got diagnosed with a brain tumour. And there was only one thing that was going to help me get over this crazy journey, and it was the Dakar. From the minute I got diagnosed with it, I got admitted to hospital and spent a lot of time in surgery. And bizarrely, one of the top surgeons kind of got me, and he made a decision that me and him in 2020 was going to go to the Dakar, and it had moved to Saudi Arabia. And I managed to get back and go and compete in the Dakar in 2020, and it was an amazing journey to be able to go back and do what I fell in love with. The nice thing with that is the evening before the rally started, they have a big briefing, and they made an announcement to announce Dakar legends, and bizarrely they called me out first, and I think, do you really mean me? So I get out to walk to the stage. Probably my all-time hero is a chap called Stefan Peter Hansel, who's a multi-winner on a bike and a multi-winner in a car. So me and him walked towards the stage, and I think that was a very memorable moment, especially after what I've been through, to get back to it. But, we still can do things. So, that was a big part of the journey.
That's a great answer. Okay, you mentioned it on the lead-in, the Aprilia Riding School. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about your new and exciting project? I know nothing about this, by the way.
Yeah.
With Aprilia, teaching people to ride off-road on the Tuareg.
Yeah, absolutely. So just a little bit of off-roading wise, I've many years done off-roading, had to go off-roading, got many years done a little bit.
Falling off.
Yeah, well, we all do that.
Yeah.
There's kind of two sides to it. What I kind of say, and I'll always say, I think personally, if we do a little bit of off-roading, it definitely helps our road riding. I'm almost at that point to say I think it should become a compulsive part of your motorcycle test. Bikes are great, but safety is also the key. And if we go and do a day's off-roading, that then relates back to the road. At some point, our bike's going to move, the weather changes, and if we've gone through that, hopefully that allows us to have a glass of wine or a beer that night and carry on doing what we do, enjoying life. And that's a big part of it. And to ride an adventure bike, there's a big world out there. And to go and see it, what a great way to see it on a bike.
Great. Okay, and what do you think about the Tuareg and the new rally version?
I think it answers itself.
Great.
It is a really cool bike, and absolutely, it's a bike been designed by a race department to do what we want to do with it, and it's a very cool all-round bike. The rally I've just come back from, you could go and sit this and have a great time. You get the thing home, you could ride it to work, then you can go and do some local riding on it. As an all-round bike, it is a very cool bike to ride. Absolutely.
Looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we're going to wind it up and open it up to any questions in a minute. What do you consider your proudest achievement in your career so far? I think you probably answered that, actually.
There's another question to it as well, bizarrely, which relates to the school. 2 years ago, we had a girl turn up, never ridden a bike in her life, got out of the car, wasn't really interested, but her parents had brought her along to connect with a bike. And in January this year, she won Destination Dakar outright within 2 years. And I've just been in Croatia with her, and she finished in the top 10.
So, yeah.
That, to me, is, and I really enjoy inspiring other people. And to see her do that from a non-rider to having the balls to go and compete in Destination Dakar and come back as the overall winner, that, to me, is a big achievement.
Great answer. Okay, thank you, Mick. Anyone got any questions for me?
And just a quick one about the school. We're very open, so we take non-riders. We're not a race school. We're there to share the passion of riding bikes. So we basically, you turn up and we tailor the day to suit every level. And the big thing we're trying to say is, if we get the confidence to ride a bike such as this on a gravel surface, then the world opens up, and next thing we know, we're taking a tent with us. And then we're up the mountain camping and seeing a different side and having a little bit of our time back. And that's the big thing that we're trying to inspire. This bike has got a much bigger kind of opportunity, and what it's designed for is to go on an adventure. And once we've got our confidence to ride it, let's go in and see the world from a different place and take that tent and a few beers and have a night out. But it has to start with that growing from us having that there. That's the big part.
Mick, whereabouts is your school located?
Yeah, we're based in a place called Langin, up near Bala. We've got adventure bikes and enduro bikes. And like I say, we're very passionate about introducing people into bikes. That's our whole thing.
Why did you choose that location?
Well, again, I think sometimes our luck comes along. In 2009, I opened the school, made a few phone calls, got an opportunity to view the venue where we are, and 15 years later we're still there, and the community is very supportive of us, what we bring in, and it's kind of helping Wales, and Wales are very good at accepting the bikes.
How much land have you got, Mick, and what sort of terrain is it?
Well, we've just acquired 2 more venues, which is where this bike belongs. So we've got one at 1,500 acres, and now we've just acquired a bigger site of 3,000 acres, and that's majority forestry, open forest roads.
And what I would say is, for anyone, I've done a little bit of off-roading, fallen off in the middle of Australia and had to walk 10 miles out, which after your story is the same time. But if you haven't done it, do it. It's great. And I totally agree with what you say about every time you have a little slip on the road, you hit a bit of wet leaves and your bum clenches. Do a bit of off-road and it helps, doesn't it?
And I'm sure most of us at some point follow MotoGP or World Superbikes. I don't think they ride like road bikes anymore, do they? It's like aggressive motocross, isn't it? If you're in the way, you're going to get moved out of the way. And they spend most of their time learning them skills on these style bikes. And it's just a great way to go and explore, and it's a fun day out with your friends. We can't leave Wales without a little bit of mud on us. That's what we go for,
Absolutely,
isn't it?
absolutely. There are some leaks. Sorry.
Have you got any road ones?
Absolutely. But again, that's a really, really valued point
You're
about
taller than me, I
bikes.
know.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. And that's why we run like a big selection of bikes from Honda 125s to Kawasaki 140s, because the biggest introduction to riding a bike, especially in an off-road world, is having a bike that we can touch the ground on. Otherwise, we go backwards and we start to doubt our own ability. It's not ability, it's just we can't touch the ground. You know, it's like, ideally, we want to be on bike. Yeah? I can walk this bike now. If I was given a bike I can't touch the ground, my head would already be buried in a different place. But now I know I can touch the ground. I can do anything with this bike. I can walk it through stages I'm not happy about. If I can't touch the ground, that goes. The biggest thing we advise at the school, it's not about CC, it's about this. These are the best stabiliser we've been given, and use them. Yeah.
What's the actual seat type on?
Like, yeah, we do 2 updates as well if you want to come on the back.
I'm not sure what you got.
Well, I'll come on the back of you then. But honestly, that is the biggest tip, is having that in it, because then your confidence comes and you'd be amazed where you can actually go. And it's the same if you was out on an adventure. At some point, you're going to come across something that we're like, oh, how do I get out of this? But if the minute we've got the confidence to connect with the ground, we can always get out of it. We can just use our legs to just put the bike where we want it. We can just
You
do that.
look a natural on that, Nick.
Take it for a walk. That's all I do. I don't ride them.
Yeah. There are some leaflets.
It's got promise.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
We've got leaflets at the back for Mick's place.
Yeah.
But check it out.
Yeah,
Check it out.
Honestly, please come enjoy us. It's a great day out. We're not a racer when take to school. We're there to introduce Smiles, and a great opportunity to come and ride on such a cool bike. It really is. This will put a smile on you for sure. It's such a great all-round bike.
Thank you, Nick. Let's
Thank
give
you very much,
Mick
all of you.
a hand.